Hello and welcome to another episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. My name is Gary DeHart, and I'm the host of the Accounting Insiders Podcast, as well as the publisher of Insightful Accountant. It is May the 20th, 2025, and my guest today is Brian Kelly. Brian is the founder of Kellcat Bookkeeping out of the greater Denver metro area. So Brian, welcome. Thanks for joining me.
And I'll be very pleased to be here for you. So I would love to talk about stuff with bookkeeping.
Yeah. Yeah, so we connected on LinkedIn, and I don't know, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I guess, and we just kind of did some back and forth. We're like, well, hey, let's just hop on a call and just talk about your business, and that's kind of the point of this discussion. And I like to talk to people from all parts of the business, but so we're gonna kind of walk through basically how Brian got to where he is now, a little bit of his background, and we're going to take a look at his tech stack. Then we're going to talk about kind of the selection process of how do you choose what apps, right? There's however many 1,500 apps on the App Store and the QuickBooks App Store.
yeah,
How do you decide what to use? And then a little bit into the kind of challenges facing his business and what his business, who he really serves in his business. So that's what we're going to be talking about over the next, I don't know, probably 20 or 25 minutes. So let's jump in. Brian, how did you get here? What got you into bookkeeping and into doing what you do?
so how I got into bookkeeping actually came from my mom's business. So my mom was a CPA and she had her own business where she ran her CPA and taxes practice for over 30 years. So I got all exposure to accounting and taxes business
Mm,
when I was around 15 years old. And I got to learn all things about accounting, bookkeeping, and taxes. So I got to do bookkeeping for our clients and start to work on the taxes for our clients too. So all the time. I'm doing this for over 20 years, and I actually became an enrolled agent with her business. So that's how I got into this
yeah.
account business. So it inspired me to start my own bookkeeping business last year when I
Okay.
found my passion for helping business owners with their finances, and I really enjoy doing bookkeeping on QuickBooks. Better understanding of how they are doing with their business, with finances, and their cash flow, all this stuff. I really enjoy doing it. So
Okay.
that's why I'm here doing.
And so it's in your blood.
Oh, yes, it is.
Yeah. So we've been doing this a long time. And so now do you still have your when did you become an EA?
I become EA in 2014.
Okay. And that's current? You're still current as an EA?
Yes, but I did take more taxes courses, but I've been really more focused on bookkeeping and QuickBooks, but
Yeah.
I still take courses to keep up with EA requirements.
Gotcha. Do you do most of that training online or do you go to face-to-face events as well?
I do both.
A little bit of both?
20 online before tax stuff, but the bookkeeping part, I usually like to go face-to-face events like those in networking events to meet my clients. For example, my client is real estate investors. They have a meetup around the Denver area. So I'm there to and opportunity to help them with their books. So
Gotcha. Okay. So so you're currently a certified advanced QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor, and I have not asked you this. Have you participated in our Top 100 Pro Advisor program? Have you ever submitted or nominated through that?
No, no, I've not heard about that until now, so I'm not participating.
All right, well, we'll make sure we get the information out to you. We'll start that program again for 2026. I think it opens up sometime in the next month or so. And
Oh,
and if you're not familiar with it, it's merit based. It's not, who likes who the most. It's based on your training. It's based on, your social media activity. It's based on like your education level, your number of clients, type of clients, how deeply involved you are in the app ecosystem, what apps you use, what apps you represent, or what apps you are trained in or certified in. So it's a pretty involved process, but it really does identify kind of people who are, all in for their business is probably the best way to say it. And so I think too, you had mentioned when we were talking before, just about some of the frustrations that you have run into from CPAs who are getting books that just aren't in very good shape. What
no.
can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so this is very common frustrations I've heard from many CPAs and those accounting people where they came with financial statements that are really not correct. And a lot of bookkeeper would say must be done this right way with accounting, how categorize all expenses to the right place, and the books are very messy and they have to spend more time trying to clean up, fix up the financial statement to be sure they are tax ready. That is not my more time to their tax practice because they really want to focus more on doing taxes and how they clients with their taxes, but they don't want to have to spend more time on trying to fix up the books with full on mistakes and errors. So, because on that issue, and in my business, I try to emphasize quality, quality. It's all about trying to do the quality books that you make CPA's life easier so they can prepare taxes much faster and they don't have to worry about end up in messy books. And this is very common situation I've heard from CPAs, so that's why I'm trying to be best what I'm doing with bookkeeping, so making life easier. So
Sure. And when that makes them, do they refer business to you? Is it kind of where they say, hey, gosh, Brian's done a great job. Let's send business his way because their books are clean?
yes, I have a few
Yeah.
CPAs doing that.
Yeah. And when you're seeing those problems at the CPA level, were they typically working with other bookkeepers, or were they just working with a small business who sends them really bad books?
So a lot of the time they usually work with small businesses. We send them bad books and
Yeah,
they don't have a lot of time to clean up the box, so they want it to report to me so
right.
I can focus on clean up the box and send back to CPAs so they can do taxes. I meet a lot of CPAs are very busy and they don't have a lot of time for you to fix the box.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. But you said so, but you are an EA, but you don't do taxes.
Um, Not this time, but it keep up with tax laws. But I've
Yeah.
done taxes for a long time. But I want to focus more on bookkeeping, but I'm very familiar with taxes. So,
Right. Probably helps, right? Helps you do a better job in the books if you understand implications of the tax law, right?
yeah, correct.
So, okay, great. All right, well, let's bounce from background and the business and take a look at the tech stack. So I asked you to provide me kind of with a list of your tech stack, and it's funny, all the things, and there's probably things that are on that you haven't put on here that you that we are paying these software licenses for, right? We're going through this process ourselves right now of, all right, let's make a spreadsheet of all the software that we pay for and decide, do we really need this software? Or, where are we duplicating? And I think that's what we're going to find out when we really dig into ours, that we have a lot of duplication in software that we can, I mean, it's not going to save us, tens of thousands of dollars, but hey, even if it saves $1,000, right? That's $1,000
Yeah.
a year. So your QBO is what you shared with me before. And in what you wrote, I'm looking up here because this is where my cheat sheet is. You wrote, QuickBooks Online is the main accounting software. Will you work with other general ledgers or only QuickBooks Online?
Well, I have little experience on Zero, but it's my family with a more trend on QuickBooks, but I do a little bit on Zero.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And they're in Denver, right? Have you they have an office, their headquarters is in Denver. Zeros is.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't know about
So
it.
yeah, you have to go check them out. They probably have a nice office. So the other one here, so we're going to bounce off of your GL to you call it your accounting management software for time, task, and tracking emails. Is it Uku? UKU is how it's spelled?
You, that is the main accounting software that is very popular in Europe. This one more for Europe, but I found this is very fantastic software with allow me to set up client portal and manage my emails and manage workflow. It- So it's a very reasonable price.
And
So
it works well for bookkeeping.
yeah, it
Okay, I'll
was
have to
very
check
good
that
for
out. Yeah,
bookkeeping.
I'll have to look into that. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll make sure our editor is aware of it as well. I'll check it out. And then, but that's one that you're very happy with. Did you look at others? Like when you decided on that, did you have a list that you were working from?
Yes, I was looking at my car being financial assets and the type of accounting software. But what important to me is to have a good automation feature at a reasonable price. I will have to spend more money on software. So
Right.
I did evaluation for a while, and after a while, I started to like YouTube the best because it's very simple and easy to use, and it's very intuitive, and I really love it. So
Okay, great. We'll look into that. And then Anchor for proposal and invoicing, is that how long have you been using Anchor?
I've been using Anchor since last year, 2024.
Okay.
So I like it the way the automation with proposal. So again, we do track agreement and invoice. So I really like it. So
Yeah, and they've come on pretty strong as far as I think the first time I saw them, it was at Scaling New Heights, and I think maybe 2 years ago, but they've definitely raised their kind of awareness in the past 2 or 2.5 years.
yeah,
Um, and this is funny because when we did our kind of our pre-call discussion, uh, KeepFull was what you use for your website, lead funneling, email marketing, and I had not heard of KeepFull until literally I think it was 3 days prior to our conversation. And I ran into
yeah,
them at another event called GrowCon. So
yeah,
tell a little bit about that, because I think so. uh, What's interesting about that one to me is I think the accounting profession as a whole, and this is a generalization, but struggles with marketing. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. One, there's so many small businesses, right? That so many accounting firms, whether they're bookkeeping, CPA, EA, tax, whatever, that are, 1 to 2 man shops. They're small firms. And,
yeah,
if somebody does the marketing, that means somebody's not doing the taxes or not doing the bookkeeping because it's usually the same person. And so finding a tool that helps get the marketing done is pretty critical and helps you stay in contact. So just touch on KeepFull for a minute because they came from bookkeeping. They kind of have bookkeeping roots, right? And so just tell your experience there with that and what it does for you.
So basically KeepFull is software that does marketing, it does automation with email and workflow, and they have a funnel website where you can conduct leads. So whether you offer like books and report or free consultation, through the funnel. And meeting and all that. It also has a calendar in there. So that's where you can just set up a few calendars for people to schedule the time with you. And also it has they call reputation where you can track reviews with clients. Submit reviews on Google, Facebook, or other websites. So you can track all reviews.
Okay.
And also, you have email marketing. You can set up emails and newsletters and to keep in touch with the clients. So it's very fantastic marketing tool.
And
And
is it and do they have a lot of templates that you start with, like from the email marketing, or is it a template-based product or solution?
so it's more template-based product. So
Okay.
you can customize my email matches, and you can set up all emails that you want to send to your clients or whatever you want to communicate with. So,
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right, so let's bounce over to automations. Now, this is one that's been around a long time. I still don't know that people in our world, our profession here, are using it as much as they should be. We have a gentleman that presents for us on their business. A lot of what they do is they leverage Zapier, Zapier, whatever the proper pronunciation is for automations, and that's kind of connecting softwares together. So how do you use Zapier or Zapier?
yeah, I use Zapier, Zaps,
Yeah,
automated different software platforms.
yeah,
So, this one of criteria I'm looking for when it comes to software is I can use Zapier to automate the process. So I have been need to automate the onboarding process. So I use KeepFull to automate the onboarding process when there's set up. I usually send proposal through Anchor, and Anchor has integration with Zapier, and
okay,
KeepFull has integration with Zapier. So I use Zap to send the matches to KeepFull software to trigger the onboarding process when the client sign the agreement with the previous KeepFull, previous Zapier. So KeepFull has started to set up onboard process by send email to client, like welcome email that the previous emails about set up client portal and like set up and process a procedure for clients to follow to meet to discuss about our process, what we're going to do on KeepFull.
okay,
It's done with onboard the process. Then I set up to QuickBooks and YouTube software and can start doing the work. So,
okay. And did how many? I mean, did you go through like classes to learn Zapier, or what? Or is it just kind of hands-on, learn it as you go?
well, for me, I kind of learn on my own. I usually look up one-sided and manual on how to set up Zapier, like
Yeah,
you have API feature and which one that has the feature I can use to automate the process so I can figure this out on my own.
gotcha. Yeah, those
So,
the knowledge bases and just the information on the internet, right, just around all of these types of tools is amazing what you
yeah,
can do. And my youngest son has really kind of embraced that and has really opened my eyes to how much really is available information wise and how much how-to information is available and
yeah,
on the internet. I mean, not that I wasn't aware of it, but he really learned a lot about fixing and working on cars, and he and his college roommate have started a pressure washing business, and everything they've learned from it uh, has everything they've learned to start it, they learned on YouTube. And
yeah.
and yeah, it's amazing. So then, so the next one we're going to bounce over to, and that's document storage and file sharing for client documents. So you use Dropbox. How'd you end up in Dropbox versus, Box versus like a Smart Vault or ShareFile or these other solutions that are out there?
So biggest factor to that is integration with YouTube. So YouTube
Okay.
is as a kind of portal where you, like I said, request to your clients for them to answer questions, upload files to your portal. That portal actually stores files to Dropbox. So so that's why is Dropbox because
Okay.
integration with Google software and the
Okay.
Google integration with Microsoft OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. But I feel Dropbox is the most secure type of the cloud storage. So
Okay.
that's why I decided on that.
Yep. So security and ease of use. Ease of use is critical, right? Um, so you say that you are still experimenting with Keeper.app and Zenit as kind of quality control tools. Um, what's that process look like? Like, I mean, when you are experimenting with these different apps, do you just have, all right, I'm going to work in this for 2 hours on Tuesday and get a good understanding of it? How do you decide to start working on something, and then how do you find the time to do that?
So basically, I do experiments with those software while I work on client file. It's just I do them at the same time. So that's how I find my time to do it.
Okay.
So when I work on client file and I look through people presented where they tell me which one I missed. So they are with more of quality control tool and
Okay.
tell me to which one I'm missing in some QuickBooks area because I want to be sure that the box is accurate, me to find and missing anything that is out of order and it tells me okay I can fix it up. So it's really more like automation tool to find any issues in QuickBooks. So I want to see which one can find the most errors and you have better way to find errors. So that's why
Okay.
that's what I'm doing. Which one?
And
So
I got you. And how long will you typically do that before you decide on a tool?
it's really about a month, 1 month,
Okay.
watching that feel for it and that really know it. So that's that's typical time frame. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Great. All right, let's hop over to your AP and receipt management. You're using Ramp. How long have you had Ramp? How long have you been using that?
Well, I've been using WAMP for about 2 months. I
Oh,
searched
okay.
WAMP like 2 months ago when I'm looking for a way to automate the AP software and about the WAMP is really a practical tool to help me to automated with bill payments. And they have the web card I can use to try to for any expenses
And is
or
that now, are you,
to help.
okay.
Yeah,
And, and is that using that for your business or using that to do your clients' books or both?
well, I do that for my business and I'm starting to use that for clients if they need
Okay.
that. It really depends on what they need with the expense management. So for
Okay.
now, I use that for my business.
Okay. All right. And then I don't want us to run out of time, so I'm going to bounce through these next three. You also use HubDoc, Microsoft 365, and then Google for productivity and website software. So let's bounce down to really, I think we've already touched on this. One of my other questions was just kind of the processes. How do you decide? But we kind of touched on that as we went through these. You kind of look for, ease of use. You look for connections to your current software tech stack, right? And
Yeah,
then and you do a hands-on comparison just to really see what these are, how they compare, right? One to one. And that's a great use of time. I think, again, going back to what I was mentioning with the marketing stuff, like KeepFull, challenge for small businesses, and we're a small business, is, we don't have a team of people to say, hey, can you go test this out and tell me what to do? Um, we, as Insightful Accountant, try to fill that gap for practitioners to where we can, share information like this discussion, where you've already done this at some level, and perhaps some people can hear your story here and apply some of this, what they learn into their businesses. But so what about like your current challenges that you're seeing in your business? So maybe if there's a top two or three, and then kind of what you're seeing from your customers as well.
Charters is trying to be more efficient with my prices because I'm already bookkeeping by myself. This is one person business, so I feel it's more important to have it tools and software to come together to automate prices more to save my time with many
Yeah.
times I need to do for my business. So that's why I'm looking to software to solve the challenge and I need this to be more scalable when I add more clients. This means I will spend more time to solve with the clients, and I'm looking forward to spend my time and will be able to solve more clients. So that's why I feel that having this kind of automation is helps me to make the process more efficient and try to solve clients better. So
Hmm.
that's my top challenge.
Okay. Yeah. Is pulling that technology together so that you can bring on more clients, right? And
Yes.
run an efficient firm and grow the business. Again, scaling is a really difficult for small businesses of any type. And yeah, we're
Yes.
going through a process right now. It's called scaling up, and it's really built for bigger businesses, but we're kind of we're shrinking it down into a small business and with remote employees, and it's a painful process
Yeah.
because it just requires you to do a lot of things um, that you don't want to do in some cases, and to do a lot of things that that just take time, right? Takes time away from doing the business. And so kind of getting all these things lined up, but we keep telling ourselves it's the long-term goal that we have to keep looking at, right? We put a very aggressive 5-year goal out there that if we don't go through this process, we won't hit it. And um, if we go through the process, and even if we get halfway there, we'll still be pretty happy. But it's really helped us kind of hone in on our business, because I have one business partner, and then we have um,
Yeah.
what do we have? We have 4 other, maybe I would call them full-time equivalents that do, you know, various things. So how about on your client side? What are their challenges that they're seeing, you know, either in running their business or in their markets that they're in? And then how do you help them solve those problems?
So I work with real estate investor clients, primarily with the primary people I work with. And I do work with other small businesses like home professionals and contractors.
Okay.
And so with my main with real investors is we have so many different entities. It's like so many LLCs. This makes more charges with the bookkeeping and with QuickBooks subscription cost. If you want to set up QuickBooks for each LLC, they will add up more cost.
Mm,
So I'm here to come up with a solution to save the money by having everything all in one QuickBooks file, and it's much easier to track everything in one file. Plus, it saves money for a state business. And another challenge is that they are not trained in accounting, and they tend to do their own bookkeeping. And when they came to me, I keep seeing a lot of mistakes on their books. So I have to spend time to clean up and fixing all the errors to make sure they are up to speed and not the childish I'm saying. And also, not the childish is they have so many different properties. So in QuickBooks 5, the big problem with QuickBooks, everybody set up sorts of accounts, and
mm,
if I add new properties, and it will add up more and more list. I mean, more to the list in sorts of accounts. That is one of common problem I'm seeing is so I try help them to solve that problem by squeeze out is to keep it very basic, list each sorts of accounts and use classes to work down into each property to make it more readable. So reports are much
mhm.
or common challenges I'm seeing with those real estate investors. So
Okay. Okay. Let me ask, we'll wrap up on this. So, mentioned before that you get some leads from CPAs that you work with. What are your other lead sources? What do you find has been most beneficial for you in finding new clients?
so I found myself doing the really SEO. It was the upper quality done by firm like Harry. It was the local market. It was the focus on local, for
Yeah.
example, area on Google search. And also I did those networking events. So I know who my clients are, like you pick having people you want to work with. For
Yeah.
example, like you have real estate investors, they have called real estate investors association. They have a local chapter here in Denver. So I like those there to network with those people.
Okay.
So
Are you familiar with Alignable?
yes.
Yes. That,
Um,
I've heard that's actually a really great resource for, you know, business prospecting as well. We use it. We're just getting into it now, but there's a large QuickBooks user group as well as a QuickBooks Pro Advisor group on Alignable, and so we're starting to get a little bit more engaged on that. So
yeah. I should have the enable account set up like last week or 2 weeks ago. I just
okay,
got started on that.
yeah, from what I've heard, people who are on there, it's been pretty beneficial. So. All right. Well, very good. Well, Brian, any parting words, or are we good to go?
Okay. Yep. Really enjoy talking with you. So I would love to share anything about the bookkeeping. And this is what I love to do. And want me to keep that involved with this bookkeeping business. So
Great. All right. Well, it was a pleasure. Enjoyed talking to you. And if you're in the Atlanta area, look me up and I'll do the same if I'm in the Denver area.
I will do that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Talk soon.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.